Terrorist activity, human smuggling, drug trafficking. Sounds like the stuff of a bad action movie. But an exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation reveals it's all happening in our backyard. Investigator Sarah Buduson is here tonight with what she uncovered.
Danita, we found drug syndicates and terror groups are operating in Northeast Ohio. We also found the people charged with stopping them need more help to get the job done. It looks so innocent. Through the mail to Summit County.
If you're not alerted to it, you probably would never even check it. You would just think it's another gift at this time of year.
Inside was evidence of a major international drug trafficking operation. 2,000 ecstasy pills. Sheriff Dale Alexander says his investigators found the supplier, this guy, Junior Dobson. Alexander says he's a known drug dealer in Akron and based in Toronto, Canada.
Canada is a border that we have problems with.
Alexander's issues are no surprise. Our exclusive investigation uncovered security breaches along the U.S. and Canadian border.
Remember, this is a huge needle in a haystack challenge sometimes.
Rear Admiral Michael Parks is the U.S. Coast Guard commander in charge of the Great Lakes.
Is security along the Great Lakes what it should be?
I think we can always make these, Great Lakes and any area more secure. That's one of our goals.
There are 5 million registered American and Canadian boaters on the Great Lakes, and just 140 Coast Guard patrol boats checking up on them.
We have presence. We are out there on the water all the time, but we can't be everywhere all the time.
Once underway, the guys are basically looking to detect anomalies.
Go ahead and stand by one. Stand by one.
Where they are on patrol, Coast Guard members face another challenge. They can't chase bad guys into Canadian waters.
A lot of times if these guys are patrolling the border, they'll see a vessel coming across the border and we'll turn on our blue lights to go, see who they are and identify them, and sometimes they'll just turn around and run back, across the border.
Lieutenant Matt White is in charge of law enforcement on the Great Lakes.
We can't pursue them right now. All we've done is kind of scared them off, and they'll probably come back a couple hours later.
You have to try to weed out now the legitimate travelers.
It's no easier to guard the Great Lakes from land.
You have thousands of pleasure boaters that are lawfully allowed to transit the border area, which poses a big problem for us, quite frankly.
U.S. Border Patrol agent Corey Bammer took us on an exclusive tour of the areas he protects and told us the bad guys blend in.
So it's almost impossible to tell if somebody's doing something wrong.
You're right. It's very difficult to detect a lot of these smuggling loads.
The security problems are not a secret. Earlier this year, the U.S. government released a report saying just 32 miles of our border with Canada are secure. And they say that means the terror threat level here is actually higher than along the southern border.
The threat, in my opinion, is a little greater.
Agent Bammer says after 9/11, Homeland Security conducted a threat assessment. It showed terror groups are operating on the Great Lakes, especially in the Detroit area and across the Canadian border in Windsor.
We believe that they're utilizing the rivers and the lakes in the Great Lakes region, and that has been confirmed.
I think it's a concern.
Lieutenant White says there are also criminal drug syndicates using the Great Lakes to easily smuggle drugs, weapons, and people between the U.S. and Canada.
You can't build a fence on the water.
Why aren't we doing more to keep those waters safe?
Well, I think we are doing more, Sarah. I think it's important to recognize we are doing more.
Parks says since 9/11, the Coast Guard has put more officers and faster, better boats on the waters.
We'll make sure that, to the best of our ability, that there's no criminality or anything unsafe going on.
How would you really know, though, if a boat was loaded up with drugs?
Well, we may not know.
What's coming from Canada to your area?
Just about everything.
Back in Summit County, that leaves Sheriff Alexander feeling like he's fighting a battle that can't be won. Heroin overdoses are at a high. Meth is a constant menace. And like the Easter Bunny stuffed with ecstasy, those drugs often come to Summit County from Canada.
We just have mass borders, and it's hard. It's no excuse, but it's hard to watch all of them.
The U.S. is taking steps to make you more safe. The Coast Guard is working on a deal with Canada to let them chase suspicious boats into Canadian waters. And the Border Patrol Station in Sandusky will add at least 12 agents by the end of this year. On your side, I'm investigator Sarah Buduson, News Channel 5.